My name is Rinka. I live with my husband Koji and my son Yota. I usually work at home, and only sometimes do I actually go to my workplace. My parents' house was close by too, and Yota loved to spend time with them.
Grandpa, I'll massage your shoulders for you.
How kind of you, Yota.
I'll massage you after Grandpa, okay, Grandma?
Why, thank you. We were living a peaceful yet enjoyable life. But when Yota was 5 years old, my younger sister Rinka came back to live at our parents' house, and my family's peaceful days were disrupted. Rinka was living alone during university, but she found a job here and came back.
Your husband is kind of plain, isn't he? And Yota too. He's slow and not that handsome. Couldn't you have given birth to a cuter child?
Hey, you know there are things you shouldn't say even to your sister.
Well, it's the truth, so who cares? By the way, I took a look at Yota's grades, but they were all B's and C's. My gosh, shouldn't first graders get all A's? Is he okay?
Unfortunately, I understood what Rinka was saying. Yota was rather slow in development and had been one step behind others since he was young in learning to stand, walk, and talk. Worried, I took him to the pediatric department before, but found no brain dysfunction in particular. We were just told that he was slower than others. It's true that he develops a little slower than others, but he is improving for sure. I don't want to force him to do anything, and we are all satisfied with how things are right now. Don't interfere too much with that. After telling her that directly, Rinka was quiet for a while. However, half a year later, she started telling us again that we should be more worried about Yota's growth.
I made a boyfriend recently, but if he finds out there's such a slow child like him at home, it's embarrassing. I can't introduce him to you guys.
Then don't introduce him to us.
But it'll be necessary if we're getting married, right? Boy, would it suck if he finds out that I'm related to a brainless kid. He might want to break up with me.
Hey, don't be so rude. I admit, Yota's growth is slower than others, but he has a really kind heart. Mom and Dad often praise him for that.
Can't you tell that they only say that because he's dumb and there's nothing else to compliment him for? They're just being nice. You shouldn't take their words too seriously, you know.
Her words irritated me so much that I decided not to go to my parents' house when Rinka was around. My parents were sad that I wouldn't show up anymore and asked me the reason why, so I told them what Rinka told me. Then, of course, they got furious. They scolded Rinka for me. After that, Rinka stopped saying mean things about Yota. Then one day, when my husband was on a business trip, I was called by my company. Apparently, there was an issue that occurred in the company, and our client wanted to talk to us right away. I'm sorry I have to ask you to take care of him all of a sudden.
No worries. You're in a rush, right? Hurry up and go.
Yota, Grandma will make something delicious for dinner, okay?
Yay! I love Grandma's cooking. I want to eat omelet rice.
I'll watch him too, so don't worry and get going. I left Yota at my parents' house and left for work. Whoa, I thought it was cold. It started to snow. It probably will pile up at night. Just as I was hoping that I wouldn't be going home too late, luckily, the issue at work was fixed quickly, and I was able to leave the company by evening.
Mrs. Rinka, thank you for your hard work. Would you like to go drinking tonight?
I'm sorry, I left my son at my parents' house today. Is that so? Then I guess you should hurry home. We'll invite you again. Yeah, thanks. See you. It was already a winter wonderland outside on my way home. Maybe Yota is making a snowman in the yard? I should hurry home and enjoy the snowy view with him. I was happily going home, but, Yota? When I got to my parents' house, nobody was there. My parents' shoes aren't here. Did they leave the house? But the lights are on inside the house. I looked around, thinking something was strange. And that's when I found Yota being tied around a tree in the yard. What are you doing? Yota! Yota! Hang on tight, Yota!
Hey, Rinka, quit bothering us.
I'm educating him right now. Here, next is the 3 times table. Go on, say them. I taught you just now, didn't I?
3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is... Mommy, help!
The rope was tied around so tight that I couldn't untie the knot. So I brought a mower from the storage and tried to cut the rope with all my might. Ah! Yota! I hugged Yota's freezing body in my arms and called the ambulance right away. As I was instructed over the phone, I wrapped him up in blankets and raised the heater temperature to the max. Yota's face started regaining color, and when he whispered, "Welcome back home, Mommy," with a tiny smile, I couldn't stop the tears from pouring down my cheeks. Hey! The ambulance really came? What are you going to do? You made it such a big deal. Shut up! Don't think you can get away with this. I will never forgive you. After that, when I explained to the doctor Yota was taken to how and why this happened, the doctor reported it to the police. Yota was on the brink of hypothermia, but because I found him quickly and warmed his body right away, he recovered in a few hours.
Mommy, I'm all fine now. I want to go home and eat dinner. I'm hungry, Mommy. Is Grandpa and Grandma home already?
I heard later that after I left the house, my father hurt his back when he tried to pick up Yota, and my mother had to drive him to the chiropractic. As a result, Yota was left alone with Rinka, and that happened.
It's all because I hurt my back. I'm so sorry.
We should have known better than to leave him alone with Rinka. Yota, I'm so sorry. It was scary, wasn't it?
I'm all good. Look, I'm full of energy. And it was fun to ride in the ambulance.
After, I went back to my house once and left Yota with my husband. I went back to my parents' house again. Rinka, the doctor reported you to the police. They will probably come tomorrow morning to investigate you. Better be ready.
Huh? The police? What the hell are you saying? I was just teaching him math.
When we were doing it in the living room, he wouldn't listen to me and he'll run away. That's why I had to tie him. Did I ever ask you to teach him? First of all, Yota is still in 1st grade. It's normal he can't do the times table yet.
Well, I was able to recite the times table in the 1st grade. You were able to do it too, right? Yota's stupidity is a humiliation to me. That's why I had to teach him.
What do you mean, humiliation? What does Yota's skill have to do with your life?
Ruka, you didn't know? Smart people have the tendency of hating dumb people. My boyfriend is an elite man with brains. He'll hate it if there is a stupid kid in our family.
That's enough! Rinka, what nonsense are you saying?
Yeah, and what part of Yota is stupid? He's a wonderful, adorable little boy.
He's like that because you all spoil him like that. Did you look at his grades? B's and C's. We don't know what dumb people would do in the future. I mean, look at the criminals on TV. They all look stupid. How embarrassing it is to have a member of the family who can't get normal grades. Why don't you just get rid of him at the orphanage or something?
That's enough!
Ah!
Rinka went flying across the room after being spanked by my father. The next day, policemen came to our house to investigate the case. But because Rinka apologized and showed an attitude of regret, she wasn't given a criminal penalty after all.
See? What I did wasn't wrong.
She snickered as she spat out such foolish words. But later, she was given a much heavier punishment.
I heard the neighbors talking about the police coming here. What happened?
When Rinka's boyfriend came over to our place to give us a souvenir from his trip, the neighbors who loved to gossip stopped him in the streets and talked to him about the incident. Rinka panicked hard and tried to change the subject, but I, who happened to be there, made sure he heard the whole thing.
That's not true! All I wanted to do was tutor him because Ruka wouldn't make him study properly. It's all Ruka's fault for giving birth to a stupid child. I didn't do anything wrong.
So if you and I get married, and our child happens to be a little slower than the others, you're saying that you'll tie him up and force him to study?
No way! I would never!
I can't trust you. I went out with you thinking you were a kind lady, but it seems you were a cold-hearted wretch. I'm sorry, but I'm breaking up with you.
Rinka, who was dumped by her boyfriend, fell into depression. She quit her job and locked herself up in her room.
Why is this happening to me? It's all Ruka's fault. It's her fault for giving birth to a failure like Yota.
Rinka looked horrific as she faced the wall and murmured to herself. Thus, my parents decided to leave Rinka and move out of the country. My family also moved out of town after our work transfer was announced. It was a good transition for us. Rinka, who was left alone at the house, was unable to pay for the rent and was forced to leave just a few months later.
Ruka, where are you now? It's cold and tough outside. Please, let me live with you.
No way. Remember that Yota went through an even colder and tougher experience that day? I don't want to see your face ever again. Don't contact me anymore. After that, I have no idea what happened to Rinka. An acquaintance of mine told me she saw Rinka working as a hostess, but I honestly don't care at all. Thereafter, Yota made many new friends at his new school and is now living a healthy, happy life.
Look, Mommy! I caught many crayfish.
Oh, how wonderful! Stop! Not in the tub, honey.
Why? Let's keep them here.
No way! I hope we can continue living a peaceful life like this ahead.